So many giggles already, Lisa. Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, I love the pink. This is you. And there needs to be more rebel-hearted, which we will talk about, women like you out there in the world accessing their awesomeness. And I know flying the freak flag, I'm quoting you, and rocking their weird. I love that. I love that so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I know I sent you a bunch of little questions to think about. And one of them was I asked you, because I think a lot of people are thinking about this now and getting back to it. I asked you, what was your why when you first started out in business? And you said that you wanted to inspire, that's why I'm looking over here because I got all your wonderful notes. You wanted to inspire women to create a business that they love in their own way. And I know you started talking about, and I didn't even know this, your parents and just their work ethic and how you grew up. And I loved what you said, that they taught you, if you work for yourself, I'm just going to keep quoting you, you can create a future and protect what you build. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's just amazing to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So my parents were ranchers, and I have a black cat that's got her bell and she's around. So my parents were ranchers, so I grew up with the animals, so I surround myself with them here, I guess. And they always said, if you build it yourself, you can protect it and support it. And if you work for someone else, you're at the mercy of their vision and the way that things change for them. Yeah. And a lot of times, especially in business, people say, well, these are my morals, or this is what my vision statement is, or my mission statement. And then it changes based on what the economy brings and all of that. And my dad was like, but you know what? And his nickname for me was Mabel. You know what, Mabel? If you build it yourself and the boss is a bitch, you can handle it, Yeah. You can deal with that and adjust it. So that was always what his teachings were, and my mom believes the same thing, and it stuck for real. So
I read that and I was like, that is the best philosophy ever. Lisa needs to write like a manifesto for all people to follow when they start getting into business. No joke. And then I was a little bit surprised because I know you as like this bold-hearted woman online, and I understand a lot of us when we start to get into business, we can veer off this path a little bit. And I did what you did. And I know you're all about fucking the funnel now. So when you first started, which is awesome, and I want you to talk about, you did what I did, and we invested lots of money into all these programs, learning about a freebie and an opt-in and a list. And then it was like, this is not me. Want to hit on that?
Oh, for sure. So I seriously invested thousands. I have been in the audience with Brennan Burchard. I have been able to connect with some really big coaches. And I was just like, this system's working for you. It should work for me. And then I would leave the conference and I would go home and I would try and create this funnel and these freebies and these opt-ins that were attention grabbers. And that my list was going to be like 50 miles long because I'm fucking awesome. And I'd never get out of the gate because I was like, my freebie is like, come and hang out with me, not like this PDF. Come hang out with me and take fucking notes. Then that's your PDF, and it was so challenging for me that I just got lost in that system. And I would buy another system and realize it was the same, just with pink font and it was so frustrating. So frustrating.
You are making me relive my whole journey, because that was me. I was like, oh my God, yes, I wish I met you when I was first starting out, because I was like, everybody says this works. I bought this other program and this one, and nothing is working for me. And it goes in your head, what is wrong with me? Wait, I don't know if I can do this. All this stuff. So when did the idea of Fuck the Funnel emerge, and when did you start getting back to yourself?
It's a really recent journey for me. July 23rd, I was ready to quit. I remember the date. I was like, fuck this. And then I spent 2 weeks kind of in mourning for this business that I was giving up because it wasn't working. And then I was like, well, you watch it in football, the big Hail Mary pass down the field, and and it works. Someone catches the ball on the other end and you win the game. Let me try it. So I just came out and I was like, fuck the funnel, man. If it's not working for you, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, you don't have to create another freebie or an opt-in and grow your list and then have that list envy. You don't have to do that. And when I started saying that online, people were like, what? What that you say?
I remember that.
You want to have conversations with me? Get to know me? Ask me about me? Fuck yeah, man. And it just all started to grow from there.
Yes. See, they wanted to come hang out with you. I love that. So because I know I'm a part of Rebel Heart Women, this amazing group that you started to form. And I love how you just do such things in your own way. I love how you write love letters, I don't know if I see you all the time, almost daily, you're writing these love letters to people. And do you want to talk about that and the group and just how just maybe when you started to get back to you, just all these amazing ideas started coming?
Yeah. So I would wake up every morning and I'd be like, what do I really need to hear today? Oh, let me share that. Because if I feel that way, someone out there is feeling that way. And it might not be millions, but there's like at least one or two. And then one or two grew to, I think my group is sitting at 135 women now or something like that. And they love it. And I get to share these gems with them to keep going, to reach out in different ways, to just show up as weird or as flamboyant or as freakish as they want to, or as shy. Like, I don't care if you need to whisper that you love me back. I'm okay with that,
Oh my gosh. I know you know that you and I connect on so many levels, and just the idea of building relationships and connecting in this way, it's something that people just don't do anymore. And I think when you create that space for people to be heard like you're doing, I mean, it just blows my mind because it's such a more intimate and amazing way to do business, and all the things that didn't work for us. The lists didn't work for us. The funnels didn't work for us. And I was like, I woke up one day, you're making me think, and I was like, how all these people who have like thousands of people on their list, they don't know all those people, right? Because that's ridiculous. So it's like, okay, they're probably only like focusing on the 10 or so people who actually buy from them. So what if, people start focusing on that and building up movements and based on relationships and conversations like you do. Yeah. And your group, I feel like compared to other groups with huge numbers, when I'm in those groups, they have no cohesion. People don't know what the thing is, what they're talking about. They're all confused, but you have a group built on such a strong foundation. So this is just a testament to you. Do you feel that?
Oh, absolutely. Like if I talk about these people every day like they're my best friends. Like that we hang out like, oh, so-and-so, they're having a hard day today. How can we like boost them up a little bit? And, I've never met them, but they're like sitting in my living room, I'll have them over. I'll feed them soup if I need to.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love seeing that support, even if I'm absent from my group. My travel schedule's been great lately, and I've been, touring around, and I still see that happening in the group without me being present, which tells me that it's a community.
Yes.
Which was what the goal was all along.
Yeah. And that you're in sync at that point with your why, teaching and inspiring women to build businesses they love in their own way, whether they're whispering or shouting or rocking their weird or letting their freak flag fly. If I said that fast, I totally messed it up like I did before. And I know when I met you, I felt like you had it all together at that point. So I don't even know what I did in your journey, but I was grateful to be a witness towards it. And I know you said some very nice things too, so thank you.
Oh my goodness. Diane, without you, I wouldn't have had that beautiful website that I have, that the copy that flows so that people understand what I'm talking about. Because not everyone likes to just listen to things. They like to read. And when it comes to putting my words down, I'm like, yeah, And they lose sight of that message. But because of you and working with you and your super skills and your listening skills, we were able to really put together a beautiful page that said exactly what I needed them to hear.
Yeah.
So.
I'm grateful. And I think I loved you even more when you were like, I don't want to do some big thing. I just want a simple page that does what everybody was telling you not to do in the beginning. It's like, create a PDF, create a report. No, I just want people to hang out with me. And that's what it does. And it leads them to a place where it's like, hey, did this speak to you? Does this resonate with you? You want to hang out in my tribe and be in this community? And so many people don't do that. But I think you're inspiring and creating a movement and a revolution in this way. And I would love just to hear how you define rebel heart.
Oh, okay. So for me, I remember the day that term came to me. I remember what was happening, and I was riding horses with a girlfriend, and we were riding through the woods, and we were talking about what we wanted for our lives and what was happening in the world today. And I was like, I'm like this conservative hippie. I feel like I have this foundation that's very strong and it looks like this. And then I do things that if you were to define me strictly as that, I do things on the opposite end of the spectrum of that. And I'm like, so what would that be? And I'm like, it's like I'm a rebel heart that I just do, I don't need somebody else's definition. I don't need to follow your rules. I'm going to create ones that feel good to me today. They might change tomorrow. I'm going to embrace that, and I want to embrace others that do that too. So that's the best way I can describe it.
No, I love that. And it totally speaks. And I absolutely connect with that. Because every time I try to define myself, I cannot. I'm like a little box of like paradoxes and like things that don't work together, but it works all together.
Exactly.
And you are the opposite of all of these people. I mean, we can see it in a lot of different places where, everybody can do their own thing, but I think I've seen it too much where people are creating businesses that are making almost replicas of themselves and who they are. And what you're doing is why it stands out, and it speaks and it rebels against this like new, almost like status quo that's created online. You are teaching people to listen to their own, women to listen to their own rebel heart, and then do and create what comes out of that into the world. So that's amazing.
Well, thank you. I just feel that if everyone were to be able, like if they created a business that looked like me, it would feel just as uncomfortable as trying to fit in a funnel, right? Yeah. So if they create a business that fits and feels and looks like them, then that's how we change the world. Yeah. That's how we change the world, because everyone's stepping into this beautiful, powerful person, this beautiful goddess that they are.
Yeah.
And they're rocking that out in the world.
Yes. I love that. It reminds me of a quote, which I can't remember, so I'm going to try to paraphrase, but it's something like when you're lit up, it's not, I can't remember the beginning of the quote. So it's just when you're lit up, that's what the world needs more of. People who are lit up, and that's how the world changes. So that's what you're doing, and that's what you're sparking. And I know you mentioned this too. You're starting to add on, and you just mentioned the Goddess Fit intuitive energy healer. So you're starting to morph and add on more to your why. How's that going?
It's, it all switched at the beginning of November. And I was teaching a workshop, and then I was like, hey, I can do some private sessions too. And someone said, what's the private session going to be? And I'm like, oh, well, it's going to be Reiki and shamanic healing and intuitive healing and guided, like channeling.
Yeah.
And I was like standing there observing the words coming out of my mouth, like wondering what the fuck was that, but rolling with it. It has been the most powerful work that I've done to date. And the women that are open and trusting enough to let me work with them, it's just amazing. I tear up. If you could see it, I'd move the camera super close. I like tear up when I talk about how wide sweeping hand motions to describe what it's like.
Yeah, no, you're amazing. And I can tell you're lit up when you're talking about that. And that's just, it's just so, I have no other word, cool to witness and be able to see, just when you're so in alignment and in tune with what you're doing, you know, people may think rebel heart and intuitive energy healer, that doesn't connect, but it so connects if you know and see you. And you're right. It's just embodying that concept that you can be grounded, but also wacky and wearing like a pink boa. Yeah, boa. I love it. I gotta get one for myself now. You know, and be all of who you are, because people are seeing so much in the world. Well, that person's standing out and that person's standing out, so I need to do a little bit more of what they're doing. But the thing is, they're only standing out because they have tapped into all of who they are and the wackiness and the quirks and the authenticity and all of it. So you're owning that and rocking it.
Yeah, and I get to meet cool people like you who are doing it too. So lucky me.
Yeah. Oh no, I feel lucky. Awesome. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your journey and just taking some time to chat with me, because people need to hear more stories like yours, and I'm grateful.
I'm so grateful to the women that were like, you need to meet Diane. She will change your life. They did not lie to me. I'm so grateful to have you a part of my journey, and I look forward to what we create in 2016, because you know we're going to work together further.
Oh, me too. Me too. I know it. I feel it.
Awesome.